The storm inside the restaurant wasn't from the weather outside. It was from him. Khalid Al-Rahman, one of Dubai's most feared yet respected billionaires, stood up from the VIP table with a thunderous expression. The air thickened with tension as waiters froze mid-step, their trays trembling. The polished marble floor reflected his sharp gaze, and his voice cut through the soft music like lightning. "This is unacceptable," he thundered, his accent crisp, his words soaked in disdain. The head manager rushed over, beads of sweat glistening on his forehead. "Sir, please, if you just give us one more minute." Khalid waved a hand, silencing him instantly. "I don't tolerate incompetence. Cancel the order." The billionaire grabbed his jacket and turned sharply, his gold cufflinks flashing beneath the warm light. His entourage scrambled to follow. The staff exchanged horrified glances. Everyone knew the man's reviews could make or break an establishment overnight. And that's when she stepped forward. The waitress, a slender young woman named Lena, her dark hair tied in a neat bun, her eyes deep brown like the desert before dawn. She was shaking slightly, but her voice, steady calm, broke through the tension. "Said Al-Rahman Lao Samat." The billionaire froze mid-step. For the first time, someone had addressed him in Arabic, perfectly pronounced, soft, respectful, but firm enough to stop him cold. The entire restaurant went silent as he turned, his brows furrowing in disbelief. If you're already hooked by this unexpected twist, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Exposed Tales for more powerful real-life-inspired stories that touch the heart and open the mind. Khalid's eyes narrowed as he studied her. "You speak Arabic?" he asked, his tone caught between surprise and suspicion. Lena nodded, her hands nervously gripping the order pad. "Yes, sir. I learned it in university. Please let me fix this." His entourage exchanged curious glances. The manager looked as though he might faint, but Khalid gestured for silence. "You have 1 minute," he said coldly. Lena took a deep breath, and for a moment her voice softened. "I know your time is valuable, sir, but it would mean a lot if you gave us a chance to make it right. My brother used to say, patience reveals the truth behind appearances." Something flickered in Khalid's eyes. It wasn't anger anymore. It was recognition. Those exact words were from an old Arabic proverb his late father often repeated. He hesitated, and for the first time that evening he sat back down. The kitchen buzzed to life behind the scenes, while Lena hurried to ensure everything was perfect. Every detail, from the way the plates were arranged to the warmth of the bread, was carefully checked. She moved with quiet determination, her mind racing not just to save her job, but to prove something deeper, that respect and humanity could break even the coldest barriers. 15 minutes later, she returned with a new dish, delicately plated and still steaming. She explained in fluent Arabic the inspiration behind it. A traditional Levantine recipe her late mother had taught her, infused with flavors from Khalid's own homeland. He stared at her in silence as she spoke. The calm conviction in her tone contrasted sharply with his usual world of shallow compliments and scripted professionalism. She wasn't trying to impress him. She was simply being sincere. He picked up his fork and took a bite. Then another. The flavors hit something deeper than taste. It was nostalgia. For a brief, vulnerable second, his mask slipped. He was no longer the billionaire titan who controlled empires, but a boy remembering home. His mother humming softly in a golden, lit kitchen in Riyadh, the scent of cumin and saffron in the air. When he looked up, his voice was quieter. "What did you say your name was?" "Lena," she replied softly. Lena added. He nodded slowly, setting down his fork. "You speak Arabic like someone who's lived it, not just learned it." She smiled faintly. "I suppose that's true. My father was Lebanese, my mother Jordanian. They taught me that language is more than words. It's respect." For the first time that night, the billionaire smiled. But as the evening went on, Khalid noticed something else. Every time a customer snapped at her, she remained composed. When a coworker spilled a drink, she rushed to help without blame. Her grace wasn't a performance. It was part of who she was. After dinner, Khalid requested the bill, but before leaving, he said quietly, "Walk with me." Outside, the city lights shimmered against the dark sky. The wind carried faint echoes of traffic and laughter. Khalid stopped beside his black Bentley and turned to her. "Why are you working here?" Lena hesitated. "Because I have dreams bigger than my circumstances." He raised an eyebrow. "Dreams?" She nodded. "I'm saving to finish my master's in linguistics. I want to work in cross-cultural communication, maybe even start a program to teach refugees how to use language as a bridge, not a barrier." He studied her for a long moment. Then, quietly, he said, "Do you know what I was thinking before you spoke to me?" She shook her head. "I was thinking that people like you don't care anymore," he said softly. "That the world is too busy pretending to listen while chasing money. But you," he paused, "you reminded me that respect is the purest form of intelligence." Lena didn't know how to respond. All she could do was smile. A week later, the restaurant received a call. It was from Al Rahman Enterprises. Khalid had not only left a glowing review, but also donated enough to fund staff training and scholarships for employees pursuing education. When the manager called Lena into his office, her eyes widened as she read the attached note. It simply said, "Tor, for the woman who reminded me that true wealth begins in the heart, not the bank. Tor, K-A-R." Her hands trembled as she held the letter. Tears filled her eyes, but this time they weren't from exhaustion. They were from pride. Months passed. Lena finally completed her degree and launched her own initiative, helping immigrant families and refugees learn new languages for free. One day, as she prepared for a community event, a sleek black car pulled up. The driver stepped out, followed by the familiar tall figure. "Khalid Al-Rahman, still changing lives, I see," he said, smiling faintly. "Trying my best," she replied. He handed her a business card, embossed with gold Arabic lettering. "Consider this a partnership proposal. My foundation wants to support your work." She looked at the card, then back at him. "Why me?" His voice softened. "Because you spoke a language no one else in that restaurant understood. Not Arabic. Humanity. If this story moved your heart or made you believe in the power of kindness and respect, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Exposed Tales. Every click helps us bring more true to life stories that inspire hope and remind us what it means to be human." That night, as Lena stood before a crowd of smiling faces, her heart swelled with gratitude. She glanced toward Khalid, who nodded from the back row, a quiet smile on his face. He had entered her world furious, broken by pride. She had spoken with courage, guided by empathy. And in that small act, one voice meeting another, both their lives had changed forever. Because sometimes, a single word spoken in the right language can heal what money never could.